Hi, this is the Start 3D Modeling channel. In this video, I will show you some interesting applications of plasticity using this simple example. I will demonstrate how we can easily create models consisting of several parts. If you want to try plasticity, you'll find the details in the description of this video. I will start a new project. Here we will begin by creating a rectangular box. Select the center box command. If this command is not active, hover the cursor over this area, press and hold the left mouse button, then move the cursor over the appropriate command. In this case, select the center box command and release the mouse cursor. This is how we can select this command. Next, using the snaps, we will place the center of the rectangular box at the origin of the coordinate system. When the snap is active, click the left mouse button and here will be the center of the rectangular box. Then, to specify the dimensions of the box, we press the Tab key and enter the dimensions. In the x-axis, enter 100 mm, then press the Tab key again to switch to defining the second dimension, and here enter 50 and press enter. Next, we specify the height of the solid, and as the height of the solid, enter 70 mm and press enter and enter again to end this command. Next, we will create a centered rectangle. We have the center rectangle command here, and similarly as with the cube, if this command is not active, press and hold the left mouse button, then hover over the center rectangle command, and regarding the center of the rectangle, we will position it at this point, meaning when the snap is active, we click the left mouse button. As for the first dimension of the rectangle, move the cursor over the edge of the solid, and this dimension will be red based on that. For the second dimension, we press the Tab key, and here we enter 70 mm and press enter. Now, based on this rectangle, we will create a solid and remove material from this cube. To do this, switch to face selection, select the area of the rectangle and create an extrusion downwards to a depth of 55 mm. So press the D key, enter -55 and press enter. And before pressing enter again to confirm this operation, we will remove material from this cube. And to do this, we press the W key on the keyboard to activate the difference operation, that is, subtracting one solid from another. Next, we select the solid from which we will subtract this extrusion. That is, we click the left mouse button on this solid and click OK to confirm it. Regarding the visibility of this rectangle, we can turn off the visibility of this geometry, or we can select this geometry here in the outliner or in the workspace. Then we press delete to remove it. Now we will create another part, and we will do it in such a way that we will start creating geometry on this face. Here we will create a temporary construction plane, and to do this, click on this face and press the spacebar to switch to the temporary construction plane. Now select the circle drawing, select the center circle command, place the center of the circle at this point. Here we have an active snap, click the left mouse button, and regarding the diameter of the circle, enter 20 mm and press enter. Now this circle is selected. If it were not selected, if you clicked somewhere with the left mouse button to deselect this geometry, to select the edges, we switch to edge selection and select the circle. Now we will move this circle down. To do this, we activate the move command. We can activate this command by pressing the G key on the keyboard. We move in the Z axis by 25 millimeters downwards. That is, I press the Z key, enter -25. Okay, a bit too much, so I will enter -20 here and press enter and enter again to confirm it. Now I close the temporary construction plane, and based on this geometry we will create a hole in this solid and a next solid. To do this, I switch to face selection, select the area of the circle, and here I will create an extrusion in such a way as to create a solid to this face. To do this easily and precisely, we grab this gizmo, drag it in this direction, and to precisely define the length of the extrusion to this face, press the Ctrl key, and when we hover over this face, the length of the extrusion will be created to this face. We release the left mouse button, release the Ctrl key, and before we click OK to create this solid, let's create holes in this larger solid. To do this, activate the difference operation. Just like before, we will subtract one solid from another. Press the W key and now select this solid. If we click OK now, this cylinder will be removed, but if we check the Keep Tools option, the cylinder will remain in the project and holes will be created in this larger solid. Click OK, and now notice that in the outliner we have two solids, we have the cylinder and this solid. Now I will turn off the visibility of the cylinder, and in this solid we have holes. I will turn off the visibility of the flat geometry. Now I will turn on the visibility of the cylinder and reduce the diameter of this cylinder a bit. And to do this, I select the face of the cylinder, and the push face operation has been activated here. I can slightly reduce the diameter of this cylinder, and to do this precisely, I press D key and enter, for example, -1, and press enter and enter again to confirm it. Now we will create more segments of this solid. Here we will do it in such a way that I will switch to edge selection, select the edge of the cylinder, and press Shift plus D to create flat geometry based on the edge of the solid. I click OK. Here note that geometry has been created based on the edge of the solid. I will turn on the visibility of the cylinder, and now this geometry is selected, and I press the O key to activate the offset command. I will create an offset of this edge to, for example, 5 mm, and to do this precisely, I press the D key, then the 5 key, and I press enter to confirm it and enter again to finish the command. Now I will turn off the visibility of this smaller circle, switch to face selection, and based on this area I will create another solid with a height of 5 mm. To do this precisely, I press the D key, then the 5 key, I press enter to confirm it, and now if I press enter again, another solid will be created, but at this stage we can combine this solid with this cylinder. To do this, we use the union command, meaning we press the Q key. Next, we select the solid we want to join these two and click OK to confirm it. This way we created something like this, and we have one single solid, and the project looks this way. And next we will extend the cylinder a bit, and to do this I select this face and the push face operation has been activated here. We can extend this cylinder a bit, and to do this precisely we can specify the exact length in this field, or we can press the D key and enter the offset value and press enter to confirm it. Now I switch to edge selection, and based on this edge of the solid I will create flat geometry. That is, I press Shift plus D, click OK. Because here the move command has been automatically activated, but I don't want to move this geometry. I want this flat geometry to be in this place. I click OK, and now this geometry is selected. I press the O key to add an offset of this edge. Then I press the D key, hit 3, hit enter and enter again to confirm it. Next, I switch to face selection and select this area. Here we will create a solid with a height of 3 mm. That is, I selected this area, the extrude operation has been automatically activated. I press D, hit 3, hit enter and enter again to finish it. In this case, we didn't join the newly created solid with the previous solid. That's why we have two separate solids. Now I will temporarily turn off the visibility of this solid, turn on the visibility of this solid, and here we will change the inner diameter of this solid. I select this face, and using the push face command, we will reduce this diameter by, say, 1 mm, and I press the D key, hit 1, hit enter and enter again to finish it. Next, I switch to solid selection, select this solid, and now I would like to move this solid so that this face of the solid is offset from this face by 1 mm. We will do this in such a way that first we will move this solid so that these faces touch, and then we will offset this smaller solid by 1 mm from this larger solid. We will do it like this. After selecting this solid, we activate the move command by pressing the G key on the keyboard. Here, note that the reference point is placed in the center of this solid, but we can change the reference point by activating the pivot command, which is pressing the V key on the keyboard. If we press the V key, we can change the position of the reference point and we can place it here. And now we can move this solid with the Ctrl key active to this place. Here the snap will be used and we will move this solid so that the faces of these solids touch, but we can also do this using the freestyle command. Now I'll press the escape key to show you this. And so we have this solid selected. I press the G key, then I press the F key to activate the freestyle command. Here I click on this point, and now this point is the reference point, and this point is attached to the cursor. I simply hover the cursor over this point and click here with the left mouse button. Both options gave the same effect, the faces of these solids touch, so we click OK. Now we will move this solid so that these faces are offset from each other by 1 mm. The solid is selected, I press the G key, and here we move in the negative direction of the x-axis by 1 mm. That is, I press the X key, enter -1, and press enter and enter again to confirm it. Now I will turn on the visibility of this cylinder, and in this cylinder we will create a groove. And to do this, with the Shift key we select these two solids. First we select the cylinder and then we select this ring, activate the boolean operation. We can do this by clicking the cursor here or press the Q key on the keyboard. Here the diff operation is automatically selected. Remember that if you want this solid to remain in the project, the Keep Tools option must be active. If this option is turned off, this ring will be removed from the project, and if this option is turned on, the ring will remain in the project. We click OK, and this way we created a groove in this cylinder. Now we can do something like this. We will enlarge this groove a bit. I will switch to face selection and select this face. Here the push face operation is automatically activated, and I can move this face a bit, and to this precisely we can specify the value here, for example 0.2. Okay, now I click on this face and we will also do this minus 0.2, but we will do it in such a way that I press the D key, enter minus 0.2, hit enter and enter again to confirm it. I also select this face, and here we will also reduce this diameter by 0.2, that is, I press the D key, enter minus 0.2, hit enter and enter again to confirm it. This way we created something like this. We will create a chamfer here, and to add the chamfer we switch to edge selection, select the edge, and the fillet operation has been automatically activated. And here, depending on which direction we drag this gizmo, a fillet or a chamfer will be created. By default, a chamfer is created that has the same dimension in both directions, but we can change this and we can define a different dimension in the other direction, and then the chamfer will be created in this way. We can do this like this. Here will be minus 7, here minus 2, and we click OK. Now I turn on the visibility of the remaining solids, and the project looks this way. Now I would like to add an operation to this ring. If you are working with several solids and you would like to temporarily turn off the visibility of the other solids so that they don't obscure the view, then in the case of a small number of solids in the project, we can do this in the outliner. We can simply turn off the visibility of these solids, but if there are many solids, such turning on and off visibility in the outliner can be time consuming. Therefore, in this case, we can use the isolate solid option. We have a command here that allows us to do that, and we can activate this command by pressing the period key on the keyboard. We select this command, and now we just work on this solid. I will create another operation here. I will switch to face selection, select this face so that I can create a construction plane based on this face. Here I will draw a rectangle roughly like this, and here I will specify the width of this rectangle as 2 mm. The second dimension doesn't matter. It is important for the rectangle to extend beyond the ring. Okay, now I close the temporary construction plane, and we will do something like this. I select the area of this rectangle, drag it to any value so that the length of the extrusion is greater than the thickness of this solid. I press the W key, select this ring and click OK. This way we created something like this. Now we will add fillets to all edges of this ring, and to easily select all edges of the solid, we switch to solid selection, select the solid and use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+2. Now the selection of the solid has been converted to edge selection, and we can add a radius here, for example of 0.5. And to do this I press the D key, enter 0.5, hit enter and enter again to confirm it. Now I click here to turn off the isolated view and to enable the visibility of the other solids, and we have something like this. Now I will also add fillets to this largest solid. I switch to edge selection, and with the shift key I select the edges that I want to round. Here I will add a fillet of 15 millimeters, so I press the D key, enter 15, hit enter and enter again to confirm it. Next, we can specify the colors of the solids. To do this, we select the solid for which we want to change the color and press the M key to activate the material setting option. We click here and specify the color of the solid. I click OK to confirm it, and here the color of this solid is displayed. Then I click on the next solid, and we can also create the color in such a way that we right click here and select the Add Material option and specify the color of the next solid. OK, and we do the same with the next solid, and the colors of the solids are changed, but in the workspace these colors don't display, and to make the colors display in the workspace we click this render mode button, and now the colors are displayed. As you can see, using this easy method we created a model consisting of several solids, and as you can see in Plasticity we can do something like this very quickly. I know this is a simple example, but with this simple example I wanted to show you the way we can approach creating models consisting of several parts. In cases where you're creating models consisting of several parts, the section analysis command can be useful. This allows us to examine the model in a section view. We can trace how this model looks. For example, if you would like to change the cutting plane, you can set appropriate view, and now when you turn on the section analysis command, this plane is the cutting plane. Or you can simply select a face, and now this face is the cutting plane. This command can be very useful in some cases. And okay, we will finish here. With this simple example, I wanted to show you a way to approach creating 3D models consisting of several solids. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to this channel.